Hello. Howdy, welcome, man. Yeah, so, hey, Conte was out there busking in Taiwan, in Taipei City, Taiwan, in some of the youth hostels around there, just working my way through. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. My name is Marcus Conte. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? We're live. You're live, it says. Welcome to the program. What are we going to talk about today here in the great United States of America? A big story, Albert the Alligator. Albert the Alligator. Have you heard of Albert? No. Albert is a 750-pound alligator that lives in its owner's house. It lives in the spare room where he has an indoor pool for himself. He has a whole area in the house. 750-pound alligator was seized in upstate New York from the owner. Allegedly, the alligator was dangerous to people, but it never bit anybody. The owner had the alligator for 34 years. He's had him since a 2-month pup. And arguably, that alligator lives better than some people, right? I think people would agree with that. Right? But nonetheless, the authorities with guns swooped in on Albert and took him away from his owner. Right? Now, think about it. Put it into perspective. Think about having a cat or a dog. And you've had the cat your whole life, the cat's whole life, the dog's whole life, maybe cat 15, 20 years. Like Batman, I had Batman for 14 years. And someone knocks on the door and says, hey, man, with guns, like a SWAT team comes in and takes your cat away because they say your cat is dangerous. Now, there's two sides of the argument, and I'll get into it when we get to the story. But essentially, the guy didn't, it's a 750-pound alligator. Right? It's potentially dangerous. And he had kids coming in petting the alligator. And, the alligator could snap. There's no doubt about it. So the authorities are not entirely to blame. All I would say is you are in possession of the guy's pet alligator. Right? And it's very, very likely that he's going to get his pet back. You better take care of the alligator. Right? That's all I say. Take care of the alligator. Feed it what it needs to be fed. Right? And you don't have to stress out the alligator. Right? The alligator's not going to hurt anybody until you provoke it. So so there's that story, and carjackings. Looks like black youth super predator on the prowl down there in New Jersey, focusing on people with a lot of money who buy $250,000 cars and leave them parked out front. And then when you go to get in your car, you got three thugs, teenage mother effers that try to yank you out of your car and take the car while the key is in it, right? And then sell that shit. Right? There's a big market for that, by the way. High-end cars. You say, well, you can't use the car. Oh, they chop it up, right? If you show up at a chop shop that wants high-end cars, like, for example, if you steal a $225,000 Bentley from some Indian guy who, earned it and bought it from his fucking Indian store in New Jersey, right? If you take his car and you drive it directly to the chop shop, right, they'll give these kids X amount of dollars. So the kids may be making, $5,000, $2,000, $3,000, $8,000, whatever, a couple of hundred, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're strung out on something, maybe they're getting paid in drugs. But nonetheless, there's a rampant cottage industry in New Jersey where young kids are stealing expensive cars and driving them to the chop shop. And so we'll talk about one of those stories. Are they victims? Are they victims? They're victims. They're victims of white supremacy and white domination and white privilege. White privilege. Are they? Or is this just another story in America? Right? And go after the chop shop guys, right? And why kids? Why does this cottage industry target kids? Because young fucking teenage black kids are going to go in one door and out the other. They're not going to spend any time in jail. They're not going to get any criminal record. Because they're what? They're kids, right? So we got to change that law, I guess. Right? Kids are no longer kids, I guess, right? Or are they, right? Are they? We're going to look at another story where there's a whistleblower out there or somewhere. We'll find out where. I forgot where she is. Oh yeah, ACLU is defending going after a whistleblower in the great state of, I forgot where it is. I'm sorry. Let's see. Where is she? Where is she promoting? Where is she? I was in where is it? I forgot where it is. ACLU, St. Louis Children's Hospital. Right. So the fascinating story about a woman whistleblower who was responsible for taking care of kids in a hospital where she had authority to take care of kids. And what she discovered was that these kids were being run into the hospital and pushed into gender identity rearrangement, where they were told in one situation a girl, young child, a fucking kid, young girl, was talked into having her breasts chopped off. And days later, or months or years later, she came back and said, "Can I get my breasts put back on?" You talk about a tragedy, right? This is child abuse, right? You want child fucking abuse, right? And so there's a whistleblower that blew the whistle on it, and an incredible twist. The ACLU, right? An organization that used to be about freedom of speech and democracy, is going after the whistleblower because they think in their fucking distorted leftist minds that they're somehow helping the child, the transgender child, take away the violence from the transgender child. But in almost every situation with these things, you see traumatized children crawling into a hospital saying that they're a boy when they're really a girl, or they're a girl when they're a boy. And they come out worse. They come out fucking full of hormones that shouldn't be in their body. They come out chopped up, literally, physically chopped up. Their organs chopped up. Breasts are chopped off. Testicles are chopped off. Vaginas are installed. And this is crazy, right? It goes beyond just, allowing people with this disorder, if you will, compete in sports, right? Where a woman is competing in a man's sport, mostly trans men competing in women's sports, right? So it's a very crazy thing, but you got to give kudos to the whistleblower who's talking about it, regardless of what the sick public, how the sick public part of it digests it. So those are my stories today. It's my thumbnail. There he is, Albert the Alligator. Albert, free Albert. He's getting a lot of hype. He got like 100,000 fucking subscribers. Get a little basket. Look, the guy. In complete honesty, you got to have an alligator in your house is legal, but you have to have a permit to do it. And the guy let the permit lapse. All right, so he's leaving law enforcement no other opportunity, right? And also, you're not allowed, when you got a 750-pound alligator in your house, you're not allowed to let kids come in and swim with it and pet it. Because if something goes wrong, you're fucked. Right? You don't know what's in the alligator's mind. It's like getting behind a giant elephant, really. I would say it's the same, Why is the alligator different than an elephant? I don't know. Elephants kill more people than alligators. The elephants kill more humans than any other animal on Earth, right? I don't know why that is, but it is. They get stepped on. You get stepped on when you get too close to an angry elephant. They step on you. But alligator, of course, a 750-pound alligator can definitely eat you. So again, that's the thumbnail today. My name is Marcus Conte. I have a website. Every morning, this is the morning report. Every morning here in the great United States of America at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we are live and we're everywhere. We're being listened to everywhere in the world, not just not just the United States, right? We're everywhere, and then some. I had a fascinating story breaking exclusive to this channel. Get your white privilege out of here! Story is heating up. Conte versus the Brooklyn Hospital Center. There's lots of action going on in the background. There's talks and a lot of talk right now, talking about trial dates, picking hearing dates, and all that stuff that's going on right now behind the scenes in this case of white privilege, Conte versus Brooklyn Hospital. Looks like there's going to be precedent set here. Maybe for the first time in American history, a tribunal hearing like the New York State Division of Human Rights is going to decide on the racist slur, get your white privilege out of here, or white privilege. The racist slur, white privilege, to say that someone has white privilege is obviously a slur to white people, as if to say, get in the back of the bus because you got white privilege. You can't be up front. Because historically you got the privilege. So it's the equivalent of the Rosa Parks, telling Rosa Parks, the old black lady who got on the bus, and she wanted to sit up front because that's where the seats were, and she was told to get to the back of the bus. Get to the back of the bus, black lady. It's despicable. It's disgusting. It shouldn't be tolerated. But you could tell a white reporter, get your white privilege out of here, as you shout him down the hospital fucking corridor, right, all the way out to the sidewalk. Get your white privilege out of here. Disgusting. Right? Unacceptable. So that is the case. It's very active right now. Welcome everybody in the chat. Welcome to the program. These are real people. Give yourselves a hand if you're watching. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Zoot Cooter. TJ. Weevil Girl in the house. William R. Hall, the great artist from Syracuse, New York, in the house. David Brown and everybody else who's lurking. Champs is here. I'm sure Chris is watching. Chris Milk is watching as well as Jim Gerard is as well watching. So thank you all for joining me. These are real people. I forgot what I was going to say. I had some great. When you do this, sometimes you get this great point in your mind, and you want to say it while you're saying something else. And then you try to retrieve that great thought, and it's not fucking there. Right? It probably happens to people when they're walking around, but you notice it. You notice it when you do this kind of work. And this is work. This is what I do. This is what I like to do. This is what I like to do with myself. So here's the story. 11-foot alligator seized from New York home.
In upstate New York have seized an 11-foot alligator from a man's home. The man is vowing to fight that seizure, insisting the reptile is a lover, not a biter. Yeah. Albert the alligator weighs 750 pounds. Owner Tony Cavallero shared these videos of Albert.
Tony Cavallero sticking his head near a 750-pound alligator. Do you think is there anything wrong here? I don't see anything wrong.
Says his pet is gentle and loves people, especially children. He says he had a license to own the 30-year-old Albert, but it expired in 2021.
That alligator is not going to hurt anybody. That alligator would never, ever, ever bite a human because it has no reason to. Humans have never harmed Albert. It's never happened. Now, if you throw a new alligator in there, Albert might have a problem with a different alligator, but he has absolutely no problem with humans at this point, in my view.
He's denied Cavallero's request to renew it, arguing that Albert has serious health problems and should not be kept in a private home. They say a licensed caretaker will look after Albert.
They're telling the guy that the alligator is too sick to be in the home. Are you fucking kidding me? They shoot alligators on the side of the road. People fucking chop them up and eat them. Right? They fucking, of course, right? In Florida, alligators get shot and killed all the time because they're big and scary. And now all of a sudden, he's a danger because fucking Mr. Cavallero is feeding him shrimp frog raw for lunch. Imagine how much the alligator eats. 750 pounds. He's got to eat like 20 pounds of fucking something a day, right? It could be expensive, man. It's an expensive pet.
A permanent solution.
Yeah, so free Albert. Right? So we'll start here. We'll get back to Albert in a second. Bentley driver, right, fights off trio of would-be carjackers outside New Jersey supermarket in dramatic video. Let's watch the dramatic video and then you decide. So it's a Bentley. That car, that Bentley is worth over $200,000. A bunch of Indian family that owns a supermarket over there owns the car, and the kid has the car out. He's taking the car for a spin, and what happens? Three fucking hoods, thugs, try to yank him out of the car. Let's watch. Shocking video shows driver fight off trio of would-be carjackers. Get out of the car, motherfucker! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! I'm taking your motherfucking car, bitch! Surveillance video from Patel Brothers grocery store. And you're going to tell me they don't know who these kids are? The driver's father, Mr. Patel, told ABC that he was scared for his son. Now, the good news is that the guy who got carjacked, the kid in the car, he didn't get hurt. He just got a little bumped up. He was a young kid. They tried to yank him out of the car. He got out the car with the key.
The possibility of being attacked in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Leave your fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So just let him have your car, right? Is that what you're saying, officer? Let them have. Let him have the car. Let him have the car. Fuck you. It's just a car. Can you just?
I want to make perfume.
You can't turn the commercials off anymore. You can't turn the commercials off anymore. I don't care about your garbage that you're trying to sell. So here's the story, right? A Bentley driver fought off a trio of young. Just say it. They're young black thugs, right? They're from the hood. They're not fucking white kids. They're not white kids. 100%. You want to bet? Anybody care to make a wager when they find out who the kids are? They're 15, 16, and 14, 16, 15 years old. They're all from the hood. Go to the fucking projects and you'll find them. All right? Hang out in the high school, you'll find them. All right? That's not racist to say it. That's just statistical. Statistical. Look at the behavior. Look at the mannerism. Them's is black kids. It's like watching basketball. Are they white or black? I would bet $100. I'd bet $100 that they're all black. All right, the attempted theft happened in a parking, and it matters. It matters that they're black because it's a fucking problem in the black community. All right. We got to take that Bentley, man. Fuck working for the man. I ain't working for the white man. You get me a Bentley, I'm gonna steal Mr. Patel's Bentley. Damn, man. And I'm gonna go sell it to the chop shop, right? I'm gonna sell it to the chop shop. That's what the kids are trained to do, right? That's a better opportunity. The young kid, 16. I got nothing to lose. What am I gonna lose? I get a day at the detention center. I can make $5,000. All I got to do is pull that Indian motherfucker out the car and drive the car, 2 miles into the chop shop. The car is gone. They chop it up. They sell it to the guy who wants the Bentley parts. Everybody's happy, right? Patel gets his insurance money, right, for his new Bentley, right? The chop shop chops up the car and makes fucking $50,000 selling the parts. The guy who bought the parts benefits because he's paying a fraction of the amount to get those parts, right? And the thugs that stole the car got fucking they're cash rich, and they're 16 years old, walking around with $5,000 and $10,000 in their pocket. So it's a problem, right? How do you solve that problem? First of all, you change the law. Right? If kids get busted doing that, you don't let them out the back door. There has to be consequences. So the attempted theft happened in the parking lot of an Edison grocery store owned by the victim's family and was captured in a dramatic surveillance footage. The video shows 3 masked men. They're not men, believed to be as young as teenagers. They're fucking teens. They're kids. That's why they're doing it. If they get caught, there's no consequence. You see them run up to the orange Bentley Bentayaga. That's a $200,000+ car. It's $250,000 sitting in the parking lot. And you wonder why kids are not fucking jumping, why they jump on it, right? As Joe opens the door, the thieves pummel him and try to pry him out of the vehicle until one grabs him by the leg and drags him out, the clip shows. Because he had his key in his pocket, they could not drive off with the pricey SUV. The victim was unharmed, out a bit shaken by the ambush, right? That's scary, man. That's a fucking attack. That's an attack, man. You're getting into your car. Does that ever happen to you? Has that ever happened to you? Do you know what it feels like to get attacked like that? You're getting in your car. You got your fucking loaf of bread in your under your arm, and you turn and you're reaching for the radio, and you got 3 fucking hoods pulling you out of your car, trying to get out of the car, motherfucker. Get out of the car, man. Get out of the fucking car. I'm gonna kick your fucking motherfucker. And you got that in your face, right? Right. Kill all 3 of them, right? Where are they? St. Louis? Carry a gun and just shoot them when they do that. Just shoot all 3 of them and ask questions later. So that's the story over there. Right? Three hoods. Boy. No, they're and when they get caught, they're it's because of white privilege. It's because they grew up so underprivileged in America, where they had no opportunity. They couldn't go to college. Why? You get everybody in America has the opportunity to go to stupid college if they want, and the government will pay for it through TAP and Pell and every other kind of fucking affirmative action to get people into college. What's your excuse? My black skin, white people, they don't like me. What's your excuse? You don't have an excuse. Racism is ugly, right? It's ugly. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Whatever color, wherever you're from, whatever your beliefs are, and stop blaming others for your fucking problems. Anyway, man, I know people don't share my opinion on race, but that's okay. It's a free country, you know. Everybody has their own opinion about it. That's how I see it. That's how I see it, having grown up in a very, very, very busy metropolis. So let's flip the, if you don't think that's a problem, let's look at this problem. It's shameful, says the New York Post, shameful that the ACLU is now promoting ideology over free speech. What ideology? What are we talking about? Now, the ACLU, American fucking, I don't know what it's called. What is American Civil Liberties Union, used to be a premier defender of free speech. And now it appears they're targeting whistleblowers. Why? What's the issue? Why is ACLU going after a whistleblower? Because he talked about, or she talked about transgenderism in the medical profession, converting kids, mostly boys, to girls, right? Installing vaginas and chopping off breasts because women want to be men, right? Or men want to be women. I don't know what the problem is there. I think it's mostly men who want to be women. They want to get inside of that volleyball fucking gym, right? They want to get inside the locker room with the girls, right? That's why they do it. I'll cut off my penis just to get into that room and bathe with the girls. Oh, I love it. Right? These are also children, by the way. Right? These are also children. If you do that, I'll clarify. If you want to cut off your testicles and install a vagina, and you're fucking over 21 years old and you're 30, who cares? Go ahead. Go to Thailand. They love it. Right? $5,000. They'll put a vagina anywhere you want, man. They'll chop off your penis and install a vagina. No problem. No problem. They'll sell you a dress on the way out. Do whatever you want. Right? We're talking about children. We're talking about a kid. Confused adolescent walks into a school, and he sits down with some jerk off counselor, and the jerk off counselor tells him, you're trans, and you're evolving into the other sex, and you have to allow it to happen, and this hospital can help you do it. And then the kid shows up at the hospital, and they throw him on hormone therapy, as if childhood isn't rough enough. Right? They're dumping these kids on hormones. Right? It fucking confuse the shit out of you. Right? You got hair growing out of places it shouldn't be growing out of, and or lack thereof hair growing, and breast swelling and body parts. Don't do that. That's not fucking normal. That's not normal human behavior. It's not normal human behavior. If a child is seriously trapped inside the opposite sex's body, just leave it alone. Let the kid speak. No discrimination. You could say whatever you want. But eventually the kid will come to balance with his environment. But if you start chopping off his testicles and breasts, you're creating a worse problem, right? So that's what the whistleblower was doing. The whistleblower, here she is. She get a definitely round of applause for that. Whistleblower Jamie Reed says the gender clinic where she worked was speeding kids through transition. Wow, really, right? So it's a spectacular fall from grace for the ACLU, which now seems less interested in defending free speech than promoting its own progressive agenda. And what is that progressive agenda? It's that trans people are being attacked and vilified. Trans people, we have to support trans people. You can support trans people. We're not talking about people. We're talking about children. We're talking about children. They're not considered adults, consenting adults or people. Stop victimizing children, right? Everybody gets so irate about, some old fucking billionaire swinging a 17-year-old, right? Like the fucking king of England, whatever his name was, the prince guy, Prince Albert, whatever his name is, the prince in the Epstein guy, the guy that was down on Epstein Island hanging out with a 17-year-old. He claims he never had sex with her. But let's vilify that. The girl who was sitting in the lap of luxury, and let's say, well, that's a problem, but chopping off the testicles of a young boy who walks into the hospital, or chopping off the breasts of a girl who walks into a hospital, that's not child abuse. That's not bad. See how twisted fucking society is? It's twisted. So earlier this month, the organization subpoenaed the private communications of Jamie Reed. They're going after her. They're going after her because of why? Reed, this is who she is. Reed, who self-identifies as queer and progressive. Okay, she looks like a woman. Call yourself whatever you want. I don't care. She's an adult. She's not a child. So she identifies as queer and progressive. Recalled a patient. Listen to this. She recalled a patient who had a double mastectomy. That's chopping off two breasts. And a patient, she worked in the Children's Hospital. She worked in the St. Louis Children's Hospital Gender Clinic. All right? And so a patient is a child. It's a child we're talking about, who had a double mastectomy and later asked for her breasts to be put back on. Now, you talk about tragedy, right? Girl fucking looks in the mirror. I don't know. I was listening to these psychiatrists, and they told me that I was a girl trapped. I was a boy trapped inside of a girl's body, and they advised me to cut off my breasts and eat hormones and maybe install a penis. Talk about tragedy, right? Double mastectomy, asked her breasts to be put back on as a child identifying. As well, the whistleblower observed, children identifying as mushrooms, rocks, and helicopters being given gender-affirming medication. Now, that is ridiculous. A kid walks in and says, and they ask him, what do you identify as? I say, I'm a mushroom. And they put him on gender-affirming medication. To affirm what? Mushroom? He's on stupid. Her bombshell testimony. So much of what you read when you read these cases of gender identity, gender reaffirmation, garbage, whatever, none of it makes sense. It's not logical. It defies biology completely, thoroughly. Right? Her bombshell testimony partially inspired a Missouri law that took effect in August, banning gender-affirming medical treatment for minors. Yes, 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 and yes. Ban, make go away, make not available to children gender-affirming medical treatments. Right? We don't need that. We don't need the great medical industrial complex stepping into this. Right? You get a self-help group. Get a bunch of kids that think the same way and have a counselor referee and let them talk it out. Let them figure it out. Stop injecting them and chopping off their shit. Right? In July, the ACLU filed a lawsuit. So there you go. So these crackers are going after. They're going after the woman, and that's sad, right? It's sad. Let's jump into the real story here. The market's open. Let's talk about marketing. Oh my God, we're open. Let's talk about money. The market is open. Boom. NASDAQ up 34. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 175. I'm sorry, 116. S&P 500 down $2. 2 points. All eyes will be on Fed's dot plot. Right? So it looks like Wall Street is waiting for Jerome Powell to speak on his vision for interest rates in America. Are they going to cut it? They've been jacking it up for the last 3.5 years. Are they going to? They're holding it steady, but are they going to cut the interest rate? That's what Wall Street wants to see. And at this moment, as I said, NASDAQ is up, showing strength. NVIDIA up another 5 to 9. Just click 900. NVIDIA is $900 a share right now. Google up $1.30 to 149. Apple 175. Amazon 176. Meta, formerly Facebook's rocking all the way up to 497 a share. Microsoft 421. All holding steady. The big seven. And what about Bitcoin? Oh my God, my Bitcoin. Bitcoin down 353 per share right now, about a half a percentage point to 63,200 per share. Per Bitcoin. I was down to 30. Right? A long time ago, it was like fucking 10 cents. Imagine you bought that Bitcoin. You bought, I'm gonna buy a fucking 1,000 Bitcoin at $1. Ooh, man, would you be loaded. If you bought 1,000 Bitcoin at $1 when it just came out, fuck it, I got $1,000, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. Right? And that shit went up to fucking 63,000. You know how much money you would have? It'd be millions. You'd be so rich from the Bitcoin fucking scam, man. I don't know. I didn't have that kind of insight. Let's look at the historical. When would that have had to happen? For you to have gotten rich on Bitcoin, I mean like filthy rich. Let's look at the max. The maximum, yeah, as far back as 2016, right around 2016, it was $400 a share. Right? At one point it was, $76. $76 a share back in 2015 for Bitcoin. $76. You might not have gotten it for $1, but $76, right? If you bought 100, even 100 at 76, watch. Here's the money, right? 100 shares times 76 equals, you spent 100 shares at 76. That's 1,000. Hold on a second. I'm going to make a point in a second. 700 and what is it? I don't even know what I'm doing. How about this? 1,116, I guess it is 100. Just say $150 a share times 100 is 15 grand, whatever. The point is, my math is gone, right? But if you bought it at $76, and somebody wants to do the math for me, $76, and that shit is now $63,000, I would say you made some money. Right? There's no way. Sorry about that, man. Fucking fucked that up. So here's the top story. Man claims he was treated like some kind of kingpin after 750-pound alligator seized never endangered anyone. So we're back to Albert, Very, very sad story. Very sad story about Albert the alligator. He lost his favorite pet, right? An upstate New York man said he's fighting to get his beloved 750-pound pet alligator back from state agents who seized it from his house in a raid where they treated him like some kind of drug kingpin. The guy's name is Tony Cavallaro. Tony Cavallaro.
Hey, Tony, what's up, Tony? Tony, motherfucking Tony, I love you. Come here, kid, you fucking motherfucking Tony. Hey, how you doing, Tony?
Tony Cavallaro, one of those Italians, told the Post that he's confident thousands of supporters will help him win back his 34-year-old alligator, Albert, who was seized from his Hamburg home by State Department of Environmental Conservation workers last week. So the alligator has been captured for about 2 weeks now. All you want to do is just hope that they don't fucking kill the alligator. They taped his mouth shut when it came in. The alligator's like, what the fuck, man? Why is there tape on my mouth? All right? The alligator's not dangerous. He didn't grow up in the wild. He grew up loving humans. The humans are the one who a human brings me the food every day. They don't eat you. They don't fucking eat you. They don't, that alligator's no more dangerous than a big dog. Right? Look, 150-pound or fucking 80-pound, Rottweiler can tear your face off. Right? Any fucking 2.5, 3-year-old, pit bull can tear your fucking arm off. But do they? Do pit bulls turn around and rip the face off of their owner? Very, very fucking rarely. And it's almost always some sort of behavior disorder or some sort of reason why the person got bit by their own dog. But the point is that people have dogs all the time. You see big dogs, really big dogs walking around with people, and that dog could hurt you. Right? It could if it wanted to, but it doesn't because it's not going to. Right? It's not going to do that. Right? That's what I see here. Right? Tony Cavallaro told the Post he's confident thousands of supporters will help him get back his 35-year-old alligator. My God, they make me look like a drug lord. What reason do you have to go to this extreme? He told the Post. They had full body armor, 2 assault shotguns. It looks like a DEA drug bust of some kingpin. They look like a SWAT team. All right. And there he is. There's Albert. Look at the pictures. Albert. There's Tony Cavallaro with his pet alligator. That's not bad, right? He's got a nice... The alligator has a nice abode. He's got an indoor pool to his liking. He's got a nice mat. Right? He's fucking sitting out in the sun. I bet Cavallaro lets him out into the yard every once in a while. The alligator probably hangs out in the yard. Right? So pretty good so far, right? Albert's having 11 feet. Man, that's a big fucking alligator. That is one large alligator. Here's the heroic agencies, right? Fucking taking Albert away. They black taped his face. How fucking cruel is that, man? The alligator can't open his mouth. It's fucking cruel, right? That's really cruel. Right? When are you gonna take the tape off of the alligator's mouth, right? The alligator's terrified right now. There he is, Albert. He's got his jersey on. He's watching a football game. Very clean, right? It looks like he's got a golf course in here too, Tony. He's got a little bit of a golf putting range inside of the pool. Albert's got his own pillow. O'Reilly, right? So if you meet him, you'd love him, says Tony. He just loves people. He loves everyone. Not to eat, but to be with, he said. After the seizure, he said a friend told him, "You think I'd get the pool with an alligator that size if I didn't know for a fact that he was gentle as can be?" Of course not, right? Why would you put a wild, fucking, crazy, man-eating alligator in your house? It's a pet. It's a pet. Every situation is different, law enforcement. Every situation is different, right? All dogs are not the same, right? All dogs, right? Some dogs are dangerous. Some dogs are extremely gentle, Right? And the same case with the alligator. So there's some video. Let's watch the reporting.
Also tonight, we continue to see an outpouring of concern and curiosity for an alligator seized from a home in Hamburg by the state DEC. Tomorrow will mark 1 week since agents removed Albert from Tony Cavallero's care. More than 115,000 people have now signed a petition to try and bring the alligator back home. But this case sparking a larger conversation about owning exotic animals. And that's why today I connected
Exotic. Why is the fucking alligator exotic? They live, their natural habitat is the south of America. Excuse me, the southern part of the United States of America. Florida, New Orleans. There's alligators all over the place.
the wildlife expert from Florida who's offered.
It's not exotic. Exotic means it's coming from somewhere else. Right? An import. It's not. They're homegrown alligators. You just don't like them. Right? You don't like them.
Bring a new perspective on Albert's situation.
I think I'm going to get an alligator.
Alligators in the wild are a very timid animal.
When it comes to alligators, Frank Robb knows them well.
I've worked with alligators and crocodilians for Florida Fish and Wildlife, NASA, DOD.
Robb has close to 3 decades of experience working with wildlife and has picked up the nickname Alligator Robb along the way. He now runs the environmental nonprofit Ears in Brevard County, Florida, and tells me he works with alligators weekly.
They're naturally very, very afraid of people, very shy. People think they're not smart. They're incredibly smart animals.
And that's why the story of Albert the alligator has piqued his interest, saying it's generated headlines in his neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I've heard a little bit about it. It was in the news down here. It's not an uncommon story.
Robb tells me he knows nothing about Albert's owner, Hamburg's Tony Cavallaro, or Cavallero's history with Albert.
From what I understood, the permits he had lapsed, and he was inviting people over to sit and take pictures with it.
It is that
That's a problem right there. That's a problem, Tony. Don't do that. I know. We all know that the animal is timid, but there's laws surrounding it, right? There's laws surrounding the don't tell people that you're doing it. Don't fucking snap pictures and tell kids to get in the pool with the alligator. Hey, you want to go swimming with an alligator? Don't do that. That's why you lost your alligator. That's why you lost Albert, you jackass.
contact with the public that is central to the DEC's argument for seizing Albert, saying in a statement, quote, public contact with the animal is prohibited and grounds for license revocation and relocation of the animal. I spoke with Cavallaro.
But that's the law. You should be fighting to change the law. Right? The law, you can't have anybody around your pet. That's bullshit right there. That's a lonely alligator. That's a lonely alligator. You want to be clear, even if the owner were appropriately licensed in public, contact with the animal is prohibited. Contact with the animal is prohibited? So you're telling me that the animal has to live in solitude, in solitary confinement? No one is allowed to come in contact? That's stupid. That's a stupid law right there. You got to change the law in New York.
Grounds for license revocation and relocation of the animal.
They just don't like alligators. That's the problem.
Spoke with Cavallaro on Monday, and he showed me videos of children walking near and petting the alligator in his Hamburg home.
Yes, and I broke the law. Sue me. I didn't do nothing. I really didn't mean. I would never endanger nobody's welfare.
You did break the law, Tony. I mean, you broke the law. The law is the law, and I know. I believe you're being honest that the alligator is not going to harm anybody because it never did, right? And it's well acclimated to people. But the law says if you got the 750-pound alligator, you can't let it around anybody, right? And so you got to work around that, mainly by keeping your mouth shut.
Ever in my whole. That's the last thing I would do.
Everybody has their comfort level. That would not be my personal comfort level.
Could you ever really be certain that this animal does not pose a danger?
It's hard to
Here's where I disagree with the vegan over here.
say. I don't know that animal. I don't know how he kept it. I don't know the situation generally. It's not something I would feel comfortable doing.
It's not. You're an alligator expert, and it's not something you'd feel comfortable doing. Why? You don't even know the fucking alligator.
And why?
Every animal bites. Any.
Every animal bites. What a jerk off. What a. This guy's not a professional. This guy's not an expert.
would feel comfortable doing.
And why?
Every animal bites.
Every animal bites. Every animal bites. Okay.
Anything can bite, and it's when you're
What about humans?
dealing with an animal that size. If it's having a bad day, you're not just talking about somebody getting a little bit hurt, you're talking about somebody getting ruined forever or killed. And it's
I did totally disagree with that. I totally disagree with this guy.
Again, not saying that was going to happen with that animal by any means.
I reached out to the DEC again today looking for any updates. They tell me there's nothing new to report and that it is still an open investigation.
You just got to take care of the alligator. That's all. This is another story.
Alligator in Hamburg, the Department of Environmental Conservation entered a home and took away the alligator that was 11 feet long and weighing 750 pounds. The alligator has health issues, including blindness. But today,
he's not blind.
Channel 2's Keelan variant.
He's not blind. He's not blind. The alligator is not blind, says Tony.
Spoke with the owner of Albert the Alligator.
In this room lives something you would never expect.
I was going, you're not taking him. And they go, yeah, we're taking him today.
It's a beast, or a friendly alligator, depending on how you look at it. This is Albert the Alligator. At 34 years old, he's sitting at 11 feet long and 750 pounds.
They go, what do you mean you're taking him?
That's Albert's owner, Tony Cavallero, talking all flustered and upset. Wednesday, New York State's DEC came to his Hamburg home, taking Albert away.
I just really want to know why. Why did you?
What a fucking tragedy, man. Really, what a feeling, a sinking feeling. 34 years with a pet. And a bunch of clowns come in and take the pet. It's fucked up.
I always loved reptiles. I had about 100 reptiles when I got him.
In his words, someone snitched on him. However, the DEC says they learned the homeowner kept a roughly 30-year-old alligator in an indoor swimming pool without a permit. Allegedly, he allowed adults and kids to swim with it. The owner originally had a DEC license for the alligator, but it expired in 2021.
They did one or two emails, and then they wouldn't answer none of my things. And they said I ran it at them and threatened them about my insurance. I go, the law's changed. I should be grandfathered in.
This is the room that Tony had.
So the law changed. That's something different. He was granted the rights to the alligator, and the situation was not a problem. Then New York changed the law, right? And his animal fell in between the cracks of the law, right? So he's got to go argue that he is grandfathered into the law, right? Whatever that law might be.
I built for Albert to stay in. It's an addition added to the back of the house, but the DEC wanted more than that. They also wanted Tony to build a fence to the back of the house just in case Albert left this room.
Tsitsi Kuder says, look what happened to Siegfried and Roy. Those were pet tigers. And tigers are a hell of a lot smarter than alligators. That's a good point, right? Didn't Siegfried and Roy didn't they get mangled or mutilated by one of the lions? He was taxing, but they were taxing the lions. They were doing tricks and taunting the lions. The lions were around other lions. This is just a lone pet swimming around in a pool. I would argue that it's a little different, but I get your point.
I would do it, absolutely. But they would not answer. They would not clarify. They would not answer me. So this is on them. I'm sorry. If they could try and prove they're right all they want, but they're wrong.
I hope they.
Tony, it's a bad attitude. Get your alligator back. Get the alligator back. Do whatever they kiss their ass until you get your alligator back. Get Albert back first, and then argue.
Bring him back.
And then make your point.
I'd like to see Albert brought back to the only home he's ever known.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I think we got I'll pass on it. I had something to say about Lee Camp. Lee Camp making some good points about fascism in America. We'll talk about that another time. And so thank you everybody for joining me. I don't know exactly if there's any avenue to help Albert and Tony get Albert back into his house, and maybe get the required permits and such, and find a way where people can visit Albert without getting snitched on, or without any other problems. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining me, man. I'll talk to you. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. See you guys tomorrow. Still a good time to be alive, man. We live in a great time. We really do, we live in a time similar to any other time, really. The key is to enjoy yourself. See you guys.
Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Govinda Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda.